Good evening. My name is Kendall MIchel, and tonight I'm going to be explaining FICA and federal withholding taxes. FICA and federal withholding taxes are words that may confuse or anger some people in the United States today. So I'm going to explain the purpose of each and the entity on which they are levied. The three main points of my speech are definition of FICA and federal withholding taxes, the purpose and how we are affected. Second, the difference between FICA and federal withholding taxes. And third, who levies FICA and federal withholdings. FICA stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act, which was passed in 1935. This act was established to set aside taxpayers' earnings for contributions to the Social Security and Medicare programs. These two taxes are only paid on earned income, such as the wages paid to you by your employer. The two taxes are shared equally between you and your employer. As of 2010, the total FICA taxes rate is 15.3%, 12.4% for Social Security taxes, and 2.9% for Medicare taxes. Now, you have to remember that these percentages are split between you and your employer, so you only pay 6.2% and 1.45% respectively. Next is federal withholdings. Federal withholdings are the amounts withheld from each individual's paycheck that you earn. The reason that this is done for each paycheck is to ensure that the taxpayer, you, will have the correct amount of taxes owed paid by the end of the year. Federal withholding is calculated by using the federal withholdings tax tables found in the Internal Revenue Service's publication Circular E. Our annual wages are calculated based on salary or hourly pay. The total amount owed for the taxes at income levels is divided up into each payroll period, and this amount is deducted or removed from earnings and paid to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. One of the major differences between FICA and federal withholding taxes is that FICA percentages are a fixed amount and federal withholding percentages are determined by the taxpayer's number of withholdings claimed by the employee on their IRS W-4 form. A W-4 form can be filed any time during the year and can be altered throughout the year to add or remove exemptions. Although FICA is a fixed amount and cannot be adjusted, there are ways to adjust the wages on which FICA is payable. For example, one way that in the corporate world, some companies pay their employees with stock options. Now, this will exempt the amount from total wages taxable and will reduce the amount of Social Security and Medicare taxes withheld. FICA taxes are levied and collected by the federal government, but the employer is responsible for remitting to the federal government both the employee and employer portions of the Social Security tax. The employer is also responsible for remitting 2 times the amount of Medicare tax withheld from each employee. The official title for the system financed by the Social Security tax is called Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance, or OASDI. The system pays hospital care, nursing care, doctor's fees for people over age 65 and older, as well as for some individuals receiving Social Security disability benefits. Federal tax withholdings are also levied and collected by the federal government. The employer is required to withhold the federal income tax that an employee is expected to owe based on salaries and wages. It is rarely the exact amount of income that tax the employee will owe to the government. The employee's year-end income tax return will dictate the exact amount owed for the year. Now, this means that the employee will either pay in a little more taxes or will receive a tax refund. Hopefully the latter. I hope that this information made some of you feel a little better about paying taxes and shed some light on where some of our tax money is going. Just remember, while we are out working to pay taxes that are going to benefit the age group ahead of us in their retirement and health care programs, there's a younger group out there behind us contributing to our retirement programs and health care. I guess the old saying goes, there are only 2 things in life that are certain. Death and taxes remains pretty true. Well, I'd like to thank you for your patience, and I appreciate your time.